Welcome to Carcassonne Online. Take a deep breath. Today we take you into the heart of the wild landscapes of southern France. Imagine a forest so geographically warped that hikers, they routinely walk in circles.
Oh yeah, just completely scrambled senses.
Right, it's this chaotic collision of moss and stone. So our mission today is a deep dive into the Labyrinthe Vert, the green labyrinth of Nébias. Newsflash, this is a 7-kilometer loop where people routinely and quite happily lose themselves in an absolute fantasy world.
It truly is. I mean, it's a space that totally defies logic.
Really?
But to understand why this forest is so deeply disorienting, we really have to look at the ground beneath your feet. You see, the village of Nébias sits directly on the Atlantic-Mediterranean drainage divide.
Which is a pretty rare spot.
Yeah, exactly. You have 3 distinct climates crashing together there: oceanic, Mediterranean, alpine. They all just collide in one spot, which creates this area known as the Grand Lapias.
Yeah, so it's less of a normal forest and more like, I don't know, nature's own moss-covered escape room. It distorts your spatial awareness because the ground itself is just entirely warped.
Well, what's fascinating here is that this entire maze is a karstic landscape. Those twisted stone corridors you see aren't just random rocks.
Right.
They're solid limestone that has been chemically eroded. It works almost like a slow-motion Alka-Seltzer. Rainwater absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, right? And it becomes slightly acidic.
Oh, wow. So it's literally dissolving.
Exactly. Over millennia, that weak acid literally dissolves the bedrock, and it carves out these deep depressions known as dolines.
Okay, so the geology creates this physically disorienting landscape, but it doesn't just affect the rocks, right?
Right.
Because you've got these massive trees growing there, like the famous octopus oak and the harp fir.
Yeah, those are incredible.
They're growing in these totally unnatural musical shapes right out of solid stone. So how do these massive trees even manage to survive and take on such bizarre shapes while growing out of a dissolved rock pit?
It is a brutal biological adaptation, honestly, because the limestone is full of these eroded crevices. Whatever topsoil exists just washes down into hidden pockets within the dolines.
Oh, I see.
So the tree's roots have to aggressively snake their way through solid rock just to find water and nutrients. The unforgiving stone totally dictates their twisted growth.
That sounds intense.
It is. They literally contort themselves, expanding and fracturing the rock even further just to stay alive.
Okay, let's unpack this. The environment dictates the biology, sure, but when humans walk into a landscape this confusing, it starts dictating their psychology, too.
Absolutely.
You aren't just walking a pristine nature trail. You are stepping on the exact same stones worn smooth by medieval shepherds. And you pass these mysterious things, the Pares Pasados.
The placed stones.
Yeah, these heavy, purposefully placed stones with large iron rings driven right into them.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, those rings serve a very practical purpose born entirely from that disorientation.
To keep things from getting lost.
Exactly. Because the terrain is a maze of steep drops and jagged dolines, medieval shepherds and loggers used those iron rings to tether their animals or secure harvested timber. If you lose your footing or your flock in the Grand Lapias, you might literally never find them again.
Wow. And I guess that practical danger naturally breeds superstition. Like when you get to the area called the Clotes Encantadas, the fairies' den.
Right.
The canopy there filters the sun into this thick laituse light, like a milky light. And the dense limestone walls act almost like an acoustic anechoic chamber, just deadening all the ambient sound around you.
It completely isolates you. It's really no wonder a space with such a heavy, silent atmosphere birthed centuries of lore about tiny magical beings hiding in the rocks. I mean, it draws very real parallels to myths of minotaurs and labyrinths or hobbits in enchanted woods.
Wait, really? Are we just projecting our modern pop culture fantasies onto a regular forest, or does this specific landscape actually alter human perception?
No, it genuinely tricks the senses. The sheer repetition of walking from one identical doline to another, combined with that isolating acoustic effect of the limestone, totally confuses your spatial awareness.
So you really do lose your bearings.
Yes, and when your brain loses its geographical bearings, it inherently becomes more vulnerable and far more open to the mystical.
So what does this all mean for you? In an era of constant digital tracking where your phone always knows your exact coordinates, finding a physical place that is naturally designed to scramble your senses is, well, it's a rare, vital form of mental reset.
I completely agree. Losing yourself in a geological funhouse might just be the perfect way to truly disconnect.
Yeah.
But, even in a place designed to hide you, human history still intrudes. Hidden right there along the Labyrinth's trail are the ruins of a 1942 German anti-aircraft fort.
Wait, an anti-aircraft fort in a fairy forest?
Yeah, because Nébias sits on that high ground drainage divide, the disorienting maze offered natural camouflage and immense strategic visibility across the whole region.
Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over. Why is it that spaces of profound, mythical, natural beauty so often become the strategic high grounds for our darkest modern conflicts?
It is definitely something to consider the next time you find yourself navigating a maze, natural or otherwise.